I want to show you my new finished painting. This is another portraiture painting in oil, water mixable oil colors. And this is Hinata, that's the main character of my new book, The Journey to Stardust Harmonia, which I also finished 3 days ago. So now is Wednesday and I finished the book on Sunday, and I wrote for I think 12 to 14 hours for the last 5 days or so. That's why I took 2 days off, because I really felt exhausted after that. And also I finished this painting last week, by the end of last week, and I just added a few brush strokes here and there. When you have these days when you don't really, you want to work on something but you don't have the energy, you don't have the zest, or something keeps distracting you, and you want to put in 5 hours of work, but what happens is like just an hour at the end. But then you make use of that hour in a different way, right? If you look back, you're like, okay, this was not wasted time, because like this procrastination, I have a lot of trouble with that. I try to work through that on a daily basis. And with the book, I did not procrastinate on the book, because the last 2 months, 2.5 months, I was pretty diligent with writing every day. Painting, not so much. I let myself a bit slack off there, but I will now keep a new routine. Now the book is done. It's over 500 pages long. It's actually the longest book I've ever written, and it really took a lot from me, in the sense like I put in a lot of effort, a lot of love and energy, and at the end, when I finished it, tears were running down my face. I never experienced that with a book before. Really, the last few scenes that I wrote, it felt so cathartic. And the same also with finishing this painting. I was so grateful when I was like, okay, this is actually done now. I mean, I love the process really, really deeply, but sometimes when you are so engaged in the process, it feels like you're putting unnecessary burden on yourself and unnecessary attachment, or maybe not unnecessary, but just this natural human instinct to get attached to things. I have that very strongly with the projects that I engage with for a longer period of time. If it's something that I only work on for a week or a couple of weeks, let's say, it's not that deep attachment. But this literally feels like a child, and the book literally feels like a child that I've birthed. And when you give birth, you need some period of rest, I guess. And yeah, this is all water mixable oil colors. I added this Zeppelin here in the background, which is actually an important part of the story. This icy blue tower palace in the background, and this natural landscape, a river stream, and this, you might have noticed, little blue fairy. This is Quapuli. So this is Hinata, the main character, and she's referred to by different names throughout the book. First name is always Hinata. Sometimes she's called Perseverance. Some characters in the book refer by other names. Refer to her by other names, but that's her character, that's a little side character, Quapuli, a little fairy that she finds in her fairy garden. She lives in a little town, in a little cozy town called Platoria, and it's called Platoria because this is literally consisting of levitating plates, tectonic plates, little islands, you could say, and she's very recluse. She's a very recluse character. She doesn't have a lot of social connections. She's considered by the state of Sai. So Sai is the biggest state, the large area, you could say, the whole book is taking place in, the world of the book, so to speak, of Stardust Harmonia. Stardust Harmonia is a different place, that's her end goal, but Sai is the whole continent, you could say, and it's a futuristic sci-fi fantasy adventure story with a lot of magic in it, and a lot of gadgets and modern crystal technology. And anyway, when she starts her journey in her hometown, she finds this little fairy in her garden, and she's very recluse. The state calls her actually a poor off-grid creature, because she chose to not be bound to the system, to society, but a part of her is really longing, of course, for that, for these societal connections, for this being part of a community, and being part of, I guess, also just the country itself, you know, and other characters. And when she starts her journey, she actually gets initiated by a wizard called Renegade. So Renegade the wizard he calls himself the friendly neighborhood wizard, and he visits him on his flying carpet one day and prophesizes about her lost brother, Mopuru, who she has not seen since over 20 years, right? She's around 33 years of age, you could say. I think 33 years of age she is, and she has not seen her brother since she was a little child, basically. So they got separated, but she does not know what happened with him. And she just lived her life and thinking he might be dead, he might not be alive anymore. She doesn't have any parents anymore, so it's complete separation in the family line, you could say. And she starts her journey because of this prophecy. Hey, your brother might still be alive. Moparo might still be out there somewhere. And she basically starts with this wish, this longing to reconcile with her brother and to be part of a community and to just find out more about herself, right? That's her underlying subconscious motivation. And she's kind of forced into this adventure, into this odyssey, because Renegade puts a spell, casts a spell where a unique portal gets open so she can traverse to the other places of Sai, where she's actually recluse from because she's an off-grid creature, right? And then she journeys to Stardust Harmonia, which is her end goal, to go there because her brother has been spotted there, right? And on her journey she meets cats and pigs and monkeys and all kinds of animals and other creatures and robots, quirky characters on a journey, and she befriends them. Some of them, of course, hostile, some of them are not friendly. The Journey to Stardust Harmonia is out now on Amazon as an ebook and a paperback edition. And if you want to dive into this whimsically magical sci-fi fantasy adventure, you can do so by typing in Stardust Harmonia in the Amazon search bar, and it should pop up as one of the first search results. So it's no need to type in the whole thing, it's just Stardust Harmonia, and I think you're good to go. And it's basically an odyssey filled with magic, nature, crystal technology, but also cats, pigs, and robots are part of the story. So quirky characters and beautiful sceneries, a lot of adventure, a lot of suspension also. And I do think it will captivate and enchant and move readers of all ages. So it doesn't matter if you're 13 years old or 14 years old or if you're 99. I do think that everyone will find something precious in this book. And I guarantee you that you will not be disappointed. If you have just half the amount of fun reading it as I had when writing it, then I think you will like it, you will enjoy it. And I want to thank you again, everyone who subscribed to my email list. I really, really appreciate your support. And you are basically part of the adventure now. You're part of the journey, part of the odyssey with Hinata, with the main character. So you are actually a character in the book that she encounters. And yeah, if you stumble across your character, let me know what you think. I would really love to hear your impressions, your thoughts. Like, did you like your character? I hope so. I do hope so.